The silence between their lips was louder than the city traffic. Ryan's eyes remained shut, his forehead resting against hers, his breathing coming in ragged, uneven hitches. Amanda held her breath, her heart drumming a frantic rhythm against her ribs. She was waiting for the impact, for the spark, for the world to finally make sense. But Ryan didn't move. He looked like a man in physical pain. "Ryan," she whispered, her voice barely a thread use. His eyes snapped open. They weren't filled with the cool chill or even the warmth of a lover. They were wide, clouded with a sudden, sharp confusion. He let go of her so abruptly that Amanda stumbled back, her heels clicking sharply on the asphalt. The heat that had been radiating from him vanished, replaced by the old, familiar wall of ice. He pressed a hand to his chest, his fingers digging into the expensive fabric over his heart. "Go home, Amanda," he said. His voice was no longer a silky growl. It was flat, mechanical, and terrifyingly distant. "What? Ryan, you just—" "I said go home," he shouted, the sudden volume making her flinch. He didn't look at her. He turned toward his car, his movements jerky, like a puppet with tangled strings. "The games are over. I was mistaken." Amanda stood frozen on the sidewalk as the SUV roared to life and sped away, leaving nothing but a cloud of exhaust and the bitter taste of rejection. An hour later, Ryan sat in Dr. Eris's office. He didn't look like a CEO, he looked like a man who had seen a ghost. "It's not just a tremor anymore," Ryan said, staring at his hands. "When I was with her tonight, my heart didn't just beat. It felt like it was trying to rewrite my entire system." Dr. Eris sighed, looking at the biometric data on his tablet that synced with Ryan's smartwatch. "It's not a malfunction, Ryan. It's an overload. For 24 years, you've been a closed circuit. Amanda is a surge of high-voltage electricity." Ryan looked at his hands. They were steady now, but his chest felt hollow. The next morning, Amanda walked into the headquarters with a heavy heart. She had spent the night overthinking. Did he regret it? Was he scared? She had a resignation letter tucked in her bag, not because she wanted to leave, but as a defense mechanism. She wanted to see if he would stop her. She headed toward the executive suite, but as she opened the door, she stopped dead. Ryan was there, looking perfectly polished. Celine was draped over his shoulder, laughing at something on his tablet. They looked like the perfect power couple from a magazine. Amanda's grip tightened on her bag. The resignation letter felt like a lead weight. She didn't enter. She stood in the doorway, her short temper beginning to simmer into a painful jealousy. "Amanda," Eliza Ryan's mother beamed. "Just in time. Celine needs someone to help her with the final dress fitting this afternoon. I thought of you immediately. You have such an eye for the ordinary beauty." Amanda felt the insult, intended or not, sting. She looked at Ryan. He didn't even glance at her. He was staring at a stock report on his phone. "I actually came to," Amanda started. "Ryan will drive you both," Eliza interrupted, her eyes twinkling with a secret she seemed to be keeping from everyone. "It's on his way to the gala venue." The drive was a nightmare of polite conversation. Celine chattered about lace and silk, while Amanda sat in the back seat, staring at the back of Ryan's head. He was silent, his eyes fixed on the road, his grip on the steering wheel so tight his knuckles were white. "So, Amanda," Celine turned around, her smile bright and genuine. "Ryan tells me you're the only person who's ever successfully landed a hit on him. I must say, I've wanted to throw a book at him for years. What's your secret?" Amanda caught Ryan's eyes in the rearview mirror. For a split second, a spark of the old mischief, the boy who liked the cool chill, flickered there. "Precision," Amanda said dryly. "And a very heavy bag." Ryan's lips twitched, a ghost of a smile. They arrived at the boutique, a place so expensive the floors looked like they were made of melted pearls. Celine vanished into the dressing room, leaving Ryan and Amanda alone in the velvet-lined waiting area. The silence returned, heavy and suffocating. The air between them was thick, charged with the electricity of the almost kiss. "I wasn't going to let you hand it in," Ryan said suddenly, his eyes fixed on her handbag. "Hand what in?" Amanda asked, playing dumb. "The letter. I saw you clutching it in the office." He stepped closer, his shadow falling over her. Amanda looked up at him, her defiance melting. "Then why did you stop last night? Why the silence today?" "Because I'm trying to learn how to breathe while looking at you," Ryan admitted, his voice a low, honest vibration. He reached out, his hand hovering near her cheek, a romantic, slow-motion surrender. But before his skin could touch hers, the heavy glass doors of the boutique shattered. Crash, 3 men in tactical gear burst in. These weren't street thugs. They moved with the lethal precision of professional mercenaries. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't ask for money. They opened fire. Immediately, Ryan knew they came for him. "Get down!" Ryan roared. He didn't dive for the floor. Instead, he lunged across the space, his entire body covering Amanda's as they slammed into a rack of heavy velvet gowns. The sound of the gunfire was deafening, the scent of gunpowder filling the air. Ryan gasped, a sharp, choked sound. "Ryan!" Amanda screamed, her hands catching him as his weight bore down on her. As the gunmen retreated toward their getaway vehicle, realizing the security detail was closing in, Amanda looked down at her hands. They were covered in crimson. A bullet had torn through the shoulder of Ryan's jacket, grazing deep into the muscle and bone of his upper arm. He was pale, his breath coming in shallow rasps, but his eyes were locked onto hers with a terrifying, feverish clarity. "Are you?" he coughed, a trail of blood staining his lip. "Are you hit?" No, it's you. You're bleeding, Ryan." He slumped against her, his head falling into the crook of her neck, his body finally giving in to the shock. Amanda held him, her screams for help echoing through the shattered boutique, as the boy who couldn't feel pain finally drifted into a dark, silent unconsciousness.